Hi Virgo, welcome to your Mars and Leo reading. You may not feel like you're working fast enough. There may be more that you want to do than you're actually capable of accomplishing. You could feel a little behind. But you're actually not. I'd actually say you're ahead. Very far ahead of the curve. So, with you being so far ahead, of course that makes you feel like there's a lot of people to help. And the pressure that realization can put on you is a very real one. But it doesn't have to be pressure. It can just be your very secure purpose. Your purpose in your life. No doubt, no question, I am here to help. So Mars in Leo is an interesting journey for you because Mars is asking everyone the question of why they're doing what they're doing, and are you doing it for attention, or are you doing it to be impactful? Are you doing it to be generous? Are you doing it for fun? What's the reason? For you, no doubt, it's to be impactful. It's to speak truths that no one has the guts to speak, because it would isolate them in a way that they couldn't manage, couldn't bear. But for you, there's no other way. For you, the truth is meant to be known. So that puts you in a really unique position now with Mars and Leo. Because it secures you in a purpose that no other sign can embody or wants to. Nobody wants to do that grunt work. Nobody wants to be isolated by the world at large. Nobody wants to feel like they have to force themselves into isolation. They don't want that. And maybe for a long time you ran away from this private space. Not only how much you needed it, but how much you actually wanted and needed. But now with Mars and Leo, Mars feels like an initiation of the permission that the world, but also you, are giving yourself. The freedom to be exactly who you are and to do exactly what you feel you're meant to do. in the way that you feel it needs to be done. There is an opportunity though. It might not be your style, and that's okay. And you can choose not to engage and not to participate. But you could have fun with it. You could have fun with the purpose. And, I totally get it, because to you, that's like, what do you mean have fun? This is serious stuff. This is not a joke. It's all so deep. The care that you have for people, the job that needs to be done, the help that people need. It's not a joke, it's not a game, which is why it's very hard for you to resonate with the Leo way. It feels immature to you. Even, I would even say, like a waste. But it's not a waste. And every time that you identify with that mindset, that it's a waste, that it's immature, that it's not serious enough, not impactful enough, you are humbled. There can be space for you and space for another way of operating, navigating. And maybe not all the time, but every once in a while, you can bring out a little light. And if you need to hide away for most of this transit because you're just not with it, that's okay. It's okay to not be with it, but don't discount the value of this Leo energy. Don't discount what it can bring to you, which at the most basic level is joy. Moments of joy, pleasure, fun. It's okay to have a big job to do and to devote your life to that big job. And it's also okay to take moments to celebrate your progress or indulge in activities that have absolutely nothing to do with what you're building. The revolution, the job. It's really necessary for you to let yourself have those moments, let those moments find you, and to give in to them when they arrive. I understand that your fear may be that if you let loose, it draws attention away from the mission, and as the card of letting loose also suggests, it's a risk. And you don't have time for that. You have a job to do. But your purpose doesn't only make space for the job. Your life doesn't only make space for the job. It also makes space for you to be a human being and to go left every once in a while. The most annoying part about it all is that when you finally give yourself that moment, right? Everyone has something to say. That criticism for your imperfection, for, why did you do it this way? Why this was the wrong timing? everyone has something to say about the moment where you decide to be normal. So yeah, that's why you stay away from those moments. That's why you stay away. It's annoying. Aren't we more adult than that? It's just the byproduct of attention. You can't dictate whether the attention is good or bad. It just is attention, and what comes from it is what is behind it. And you know this almost better than anyone, that there's a lot of things behind every other person. There's so many reasons for why people do things. So don't get wrapped up in the negative attention that can be easy to consume you. Give yourself these moments of fun. And then I would challenge you to say, is there a form of fun that can come into the work that you're doing that not only makes things a little bit more playful and enjoyable for you, but for everyone who's involved in what you're doing? Or is it always going to be the grind? I would love it if it were you, Virgo, who created those moments, because you would teach yourself how to let yourself be light. But even if you can't be the leader of those moments, allow someone else to. Find power in the opportunity to receive pleasantness from the outside. And don't try to direct it. Let someone else take control of the vibe, the fun for once. It's not going to be easy. It will feel like a power struggle, even if it's only within yourself, because they're not doing it perfectly. And that's exactly what Mars and Leo wants you to heal from. They want you to experience this confusion. Not because they want you to feel bad, but because they want to heal you from something that you don't even realize is hurting you. Hurting your health, your body, your mind, your spirit. Just because you are an analytical genius doesn't mean that is the only reason that you are here and the only way you're meant to shine. Sometimes you're just meant to be. And Mars and Leo will teach you how to just be and how to connect. I'll emphasize that it won't be easy, but it will be healing, and you know you love that. You know you love that. More than loving it, you need it. You really need to let yourself receive. There's a lot within your subconscious that you would go the full way without addressing. As long as the work's getting done, why do I need to change this about myself? Is it helping the work? Is it going to help me make more money? This is about peace. This is about being comfortable. It's about being apart, finding your place. Because even if you are on a path that you feel requires you to walk alone, you still need the collective. You still need some form of tribe, even if they are odd. Even if you meet them at random points in random places, you need connection. Even if they're imperfect. Especially if they're imperfect. It's usually that imperfect, deeply imperfect person that you fall in love with. Pisces, perhaps. Let's talk a little bit about the transits. I love you, Virgo. I hope that was helpful and encouraging. On November 11th, Venus will enter Capricorn, your 5th house, and it is time for some romance. It is time for you to feel really good about yourself again. Right now, you are a homebody, and you need it and love it, you know? Sometimes you feel so pressured to get things done out in the world, and it's like you're finally just letting yourself like just be comfortable within your own space, and you don't really need much else from that, like you know what I mean, outside of that, and that's a good feeling. Then on the 11th, when Venus enters Capricorn, you want to have fun in your own way, right? Forget everything that I said about the Mars and Leo. That's an ongoing, you know, subconscious process that you're going through. But Venus will enter Capricorn, and you want to have some really high quality experiences within your connections and within your work. The love within your work setting comes back. It may already be starting to build. People who see the way that you've taken their genius in some way, right? But it was missing that high quality touch, and you've been providing it for a really long time. You've been pushing them to their limits to make things, for lack of a better word, perfect. And instead of them feeling less than because your work is so excellent, when Venus enters Capricorn, they start to appreciate it. They actually come to you with their weaknesses and ask you for help and ask you to close the gaps. But instead of in this, you know, rude way, let's just say, they're much nicer about it. They understand that you deserve pleasantries and patience, and they also understand that they have work to do, right? In order to meet you, they've got to put some work in, and it's not easy to get to where you got to. It's not easy to create what you're creating, and so if they want that level of work, they've got to come to you with, you know, a level of focus and humility, the kind that you have when you go into creating something perfect. That's the only way they can meet you there. Otherwise, there'll be cracks. And if there's cracks, know that it won't be you. You can't clean up someone who wants to be dirty. You can't, you know what I mean? Teach someone who doesn't want to learn. You can't give a high value artifact to someone who wouldn't know how to treat it. So don't worry if those moments come about where you're not able to showcase your talent. That, keep it for you. It was never meant for them. It was never meant for them. And then those who do recognize, it'll be super easy to connect with those who understand, those who want good work. On November 15th, Saturn retrograde will end in Pisces in your house of relationships. And this feels like good luck. It feels like freedom. Saturn has been very restrictive in your relationships. It's been teaching you what it takes to attract and sustain a long-term relationship, and maybe within those learnings you've decided that you'd actually rather not focus your energy on relationships. You just, in a very Virgo way, feel too good for these people that you've been meeting, But I think that's a cop-out. I really do. If you consciously decide you don't want to pursue another relationship because it's just not what you want right now, that is okay. That is a conscious choice to focus on other things. But if you're making this choice based off of what you've experienced in the past, the moments where you were learning, the moments where you were younger, and you guys didn't move slowly enough to even make sure that you even understood or knew each other before you started making big decisions together that were ultimately going to cause you to fall apart because you didn't have the fundamentals down. If you've processed that and you said, okay, I still don't want to be open to a relationship long term, perfect, respect. But I would argue that if you find yourself in a space where you feel too good for anybody, it's because you're boosting yourself up after a time where you actually just needed to learn that lesson that Saturn was trying to teach you, which is to go very slowly with anybody, friends, family, partners. You protect yourself, you protect others when you go very, very slowly. And Saturn has shown you how over and over you haven't wanted to do that work of going slowly and doing the work in between, in those incremental moments of actually consistently building up and cleaning up and addressing the things that need to be addressed over and over. So let go of those past moments. Let this Saturn direct help you let go of what that period was trying to teach you. Pisces is all about illusion. It's all about having a big ego because you think that you know something, and then Neptune bursting that illusion to show you that you know nothing at all. Very humbling, but it's so helpful. It helps you to approach things from a, as I said, a humble space, a slow place. Not because you don't know anything, but because you want to give a little space in between. This isn't something that you should be controlling and directing. Let's just say that. This is a connection to experience. On November 15th, the same day, we have a full moon in your 9th house, and you are craving some big experiences. You want to take a trip, you've been craving a trip, and I always encourage it. I say go for it. You want to get away, go for it. If you want to have a big experience that you feel will be fulfilling, something that takes you out of your comfort zone, but you feel completely capable of it. It takes you out of your comfort zone in a way that's very comfortable. You know what I mean? If you are pursuing an experience along the lines of that under the full moon in Taurus, go for it. Get away, and if you can't get away, bring the international vibe to you. Go to a new place nearby, listen to international music, cook an international dish, watch a show of an international artist, creative, performer. It's also a time where something that you've been working on is ready to take flight. And it's rooted in the work that you love that gets propped up and pushed into the light, but it's also rooted in connection that you are ready for. It's easy. Sometimes you overcomplicate things in your mind, but this is actually super simple and super easy. You've just got to reinvent what you were doing and why you were doing it. And once you do that, this is a huge rebirth in your career, in your passion projects, I would say, in your confidence. And there's a lot to leave behind, a lot. And it won't be easy, but you're ready for more. You're ready to start over. You are tired of feeling small and letting other people make you feel small. You are done searching for opportunities. You're done. It is what it is. You know what you want, you know what you need, and either they're on board or they're not. And to be honest, you're calling the shots. So it really doesn't matter who's on board or who's not at this point. Things will move forward and they will be the way that you want them to be, and that's it. There's not much of a conversation to be had. Pluto enters Aquarius and conflict arises. It feels like it feels easy to it feels like it's time to approach things differently. And you have to accept the change. And if you accept the change, things move. If you don't accept the change, things remain uncomfortable. And you're like, the change about what? The raw truth of it all that sometimes hurts your feelings, so you turn your head away from it. Don't turn your head away from it. This is about strategy. This is about feeling comfortable in who you are out in the world, within yourself, and making the changes that would help you feel that, even though they may be uncomfortable to accept. It's time to move money. And it's time to work in a way that will move it. Face those self-sabotaging actions and get very impactful with your actions. Become a money magnet, become a magnet for abundance. And what is the way that you do that? You help. Be helpful. Don't reserve it. Help. That's where the money lies. That's where the motivation lies. The motivation that you don't have to just carry on your own, but one that others will fuel you with. Pluto in Aquarius. Be receptive to it. You need it. Talk to you in Sagittarius season. Love you, Virgo. Bye.